The video of Taehyung and husband sitting together side by side, slightly apart from the other members, has just surfaced. Taehyung seems to get jealous whenever someone gets close to his husband, even when it's the other members, especially Jimin and Suga. This was also noticeable during Suga's birthday moment. Taekook gives me the motivation to keep living. Their love is something people all over the world dream about. This interview was supposed to be about the release of BTS's Arirang album, but it ended up feeling more like a conversation about their love and their married life. Purple Heart. Watch the continuation of this video and don't miss it. Before we start, make sure you're ready to love this moments. Welcome to VKook. In the world of K-pop, interactions between group members are often the moments fans look forward to the most. However, there is one dynamic that has consistently captured a lot of attention: the relationship between Taehyung and Jungkook of BTS. Over the years, their closeness has created countless moments that make fans wonder, is this simply a close friendship, or is there something much deeper? Recently, during BTS's interview promoting their album with Arirang, many fans noticed something quite interesting. Taehyung seemed unwilling to be far from Jungkook. From the beginning until the end of the interview session, Taehyung's body language appeared to be directed toward only one person, Jungkook. For some people, this may seem like a simple thing, but for fans who have followed Taekook's dynamic for a long time, small moments like these carry a very big meaning. If you look closely, Taehyung often stood or sat very close to Jungkook. Even when other members were speaking, Taehyung's gaze could be seen returning to Jungkook several times, as if he wanted to make sure they remained within the same distance. For Taekook fans, this is not the first time they've seen behavior like this. Taehyung is known for having very expressive body language. He doesn't always express his feelings through words, but small gestures like his posture, eye contact, and the way he moves closer often say a lot. During the interview, there were several moments when other members joked around or spoke while standing close to Jungkook. And in moments like these, Taehyung's reactions became even more interesting to observe. When Jimin stood quite close to Jungkook while speaking, some fans immediately noticed a subtle change in Taehyung's expression. He appeared to watch the situation very carefully before slowly moving closer to Jungkook again. For some people, this might simply be a coincidence. But for those who frequently observe Taekook's dynamic, moments like this feel like a subtle form of territorial instinct. It was almost as if Taehyung subconsciously wanted to make sure Jungkook stayed by his side. The same thing could be seen when Suga spoke while standing fairly close to Jungkook. The camera captured a moment where Taehyung slowly shifted his position slightly closer again. The movement was very small, but clear enough for attentive fans to notice. Many people describe it as a kind of cute jealousy. Not jealousy in a negative sense, but more like the desire to protect and stay close to someone who means a lot to him. One of the things that makes Taehyung and Jungkook's relationship so fascinating is how they often show closeness without needing to say anything directly. Sometimes simply from the way they stand side by side, or how Taehyung automatically turns toward Jungkook when laughing, fans can already feel the strong emotional bond between them. In this Arirang interview, many fans felt that Taehyung's body language spoke far louder than words. Some fans even joked on social media that Taehyung seemed to have an unwritten rule for the other members: don't stand too close to Jungkook. Of course, all of this is usually discussed in a playful and affectionate tone by fans. But what makes it interesting is how many people notice the same pattern appearing again and again in different situations. Taehyung often appears very protective of Jungkook, whether on stage, on variety shows, or in official interviews like this one. Some fans even say that the way Taehyung watches Jungkook feels like someone who is looking after a person he deeply cares about. His gaze often looks soft, attentive, and sometimes even slightly possessive. On the other hand, Jungkook also seems very comfortable with Taehyung being close to him. He never appears to move away or look bothered. In fact, several times Jungkook naturally seems to move closer toward Taehyung as well. This is what makes their dynamic feel so special to fans. It's not just about who stands where, but about how two people can appear so synchronized without needing to say anything. Every small movement between them feels like part of a language that only the two of them truly understand. And perhaps that is why Taekook has always been one of the most talked about topics within the BTS fandom. For some people, they are simply two very close friends. For others, their relationship feels much deeper than just friendship. But whatever the interpretation may be, one thing that cannot be denied is that the chemistry between Taehyung and Jungkook always manages to capture attention. And this Arirang interview is just one of the latest examples of the many moments that make fans talk about them again. Taehyung's body language, the way he always moves closer to Jungkook, and the small expressions that appear when other members get too close, all of these become puzzle pieces that fans continue to analyze. Is it simply a habit? Is it a sign of very deep care? Or perhaps something more? In the end, only Taehyung and Jungkook truly know the answer. But for fans, moments like these are already more than enough to make them smile. Because sometimes love, or at least a very sincere closeness, doesn't need to be loudly announced. Sometimes, love can simply be seen in someone who never wants to stand too far away from the person who means the most to them. And in this recent Arirang interview, many people felt that Taehyung once again showed that very clearly. For many fans who have followed BTS's journey for years, there is one thing that has become more and more noticeable over time. The way Taehyung treats Jungkook often feels different compared to the way he interacts with the other members. This doesn't mean that Taehyung is not close with the rest of BTS. We all know that their bond is incredibly strong, like a family. But whenever Taehyung is near Jungkook, there is something in his body language that feels softer, more attentive, and sometimes it even looks like a very sincere form of admiration. Many fans call it Taehyung's silent admiration. Taehyung is often seen looking at Jungkook in a very different way. That gaze doesn't look like the way someone simply looks at a friend. There is pride, admiration, and a kind of attention that becomes obvious even without a single word being spoken. Whenever Jungkook speaks, Taehyung often becomes the person who listens the most carefully. Even when the other members are joking around, the camera has captured several moments where Taehyung is still watching Jungkook with a soft expression. As if, for Taehyung, Jungkook always becomes the center of his attention. This is what makes many fans believe that Taehyung's feelings toward Jungkook have never really looked like an ordinary friendship. There is something that feels deeper. Not necessarily something that needs to be explained with a specific label, but something that can be felt through the energy between them. Over the years, fans have collected so many small moments that strengthen this feeling. The way Taehyung always protects Jungkook when he looks tired. The way he often praises Jungkook with so much pride. And even the way he sometimes looks a little possessive when other members get too close. All of these things create an image that, for many people, looks like a very sincere form of love. Some fans even say that Taehyung treats Jungkook like someone he deeply cherishes. Someone who holds a very special place in his heart. And if we go back to the Arirang interview moment earlier, the same pattern appears once again. Taehyung was not only standing close to Jungkook. Several times, he also unconsciously adjusted his body position following Jungkook's movements. When Jungkook shifted slightly, Taehyung shifted as well. When Jungkook laughed, Taehyung immediately turned to look at him. Small gestures like these are often unnoticed by many people. But for fans who pay attention to details, those moments feel very meaningful, because body language is often far more honest than words. And Taehyung's body language over the years seems to keep saying the same thing. Jungkook means a lot to him. Some fans even believe that the way Taehyung looks at Jungkook sometimes resembles the way someone looks at a person they love deeply. Not just a friend, not just a fellow group member, but someone who holds a very special place in his life. And perhaps that is what makes the Taekook dynamic feel so powerful to many people around the world. Their relationship seems to have a unique balance. Jungkook often appears calm and slightly shy, while Taehyung has a very expressive way of showing his emotions. When the two of them are together, their energy seems to complement each other. That is why every time there is a small moment like the one in this Arirang interview, fans notice it immediately. Because for them, this is not just about two idols standing close to each other. It is about a long story they have watched unfold over many years. A story about two people who grew up together under the spotlight of the world. Two people who supported each other through difficult times. And two people who always seem to find their way back to standing side by side, no matter how busy or complicated the circumstances around them become. For some people, all of this might just be fan interpretation. But for ARMY who have followed their journey from the very beginning, the feeling often feels very real. Because sometimes the strongest forms of love or closeness are not always spoken out loud. Sometimes they are simply seen in the way someone keeps choosing to stand beside the same person. And if there is one thing that has continued to appear over the years, it is how Taehyung always seems comfortable being near Jungkook. As if among everyone in the room, there is only one place that truly feels like home to him. And that place often happens to be right next to Jungkook. Sparkles. Leave your positive comments here. The best comment will be pinned as a way to honor their love. Thank you to everyone who continues to support this channel. May God reward all of your kindness. This video reflects my personal opinion and interpretation. It is made for entertainment purposes only and does not represent confirmed facts.